Hey guys, this is Project coming at you with a Protoss versus Zerg on the map Merry-Go-Round LE. It's been a long time since I've actually seen this game, so let's go ahead and introduce our players and then we'll nerd out over the awesome graphics. So spotting in the top left-hand corner from Disciples of Legend, we have KernieKatz. And spotting in the top right corner of Merry-Go-Round, we have our hero from the Casted subreddit, ZookaMan. Isn't it awesome? I actually haven't played a lot of Starcraft lately. I'm actually starting to hopefully get back into the bugs about it because you know what? I watched MLG and I was like, man, I miss casting. Casting's kind of fun. So, casting is a lot of fun. And you know what? I wanted to actually get back into it. So, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, the game really hasn't changed a whole lot. You know, I watched MLG. I didn't get an opportunity to really watch the Red Bull LAN, but watching the MLG was kind of fun, being able to see some of those weird games, some of the casters that you may not necessarily be used to. So, you know, I wanted to get my hand back in the game. So, what's been new with me? I haven't, what's new with me, at least Starcraft related? I actually did a couple ladder games on the EU ladder because I'm a ladder scrub. And you know what? I had ladder anxiety, so I wanted to make sure that I was playing on a new MMR. It didn't matter whether I won or lose. I went 4-1 and I was platinum. I was like, sup, son? I did a bunch of all-ins. It was super easy. And so I actually beat a diamond player, so that means I'm like pretty close to being masters now, right? That's exactly what that means. This is what the kids on the internet tell me. So I don't even have there's new caster UI stuff where all this crap is hidden and stuff. I don't even have that yet because I actually got a brand spanking new computer. And speaking of that, look at this Overlord. I had this stuff cranked up to max. Look how pretty that guy looks. Have you really sat down lately and actually looked at the detail of what's actually going on in StarCraft? I don't know. You just kind of have to just observe it a little bit. And one thing to note, he's only got 2 guys in gas. It's kind of an interesting thing, but he's got it on 2 geysers, so he's doing one of those weird liquid hero kind of plays. So we see a Zealot being chrono boost. Normally when you see that, you actually think that aggression's actually happening, and he chrono boosted that because he saw that spawning pool. So he thinks that bad stuff's about to happen. That's perfectly okay, the most normal thing in the world. So we still see 2 guys in gas on each of them. And you know what? I got a new computer recently. I got an awesome new computer with a 4770K and a 780 Ti. No compromise is the name of my computer. I didn't cut corners on anything. I spent a gajillion dollars on it. So good for ZookaMan for actually taking the watchtower. This should always be a point of contention, especially for your, the people that want to climb the ranks. Information is key in StarCraft, and the information that you need to know about this game is that both these players are gold. So even though we might not see the tip-top level play here, or crisp timings, we're going to see some people that really enjoy the game and really want to throw their hearts out at it. So KernieKatz, something interesting to note, he hasn't gotten any gas yet. He doesn't even mind gas from Extractor, but he just actually pulled about 6 drones to make sure that, you know what, I want to make sure that I have some gas up there. So, guys, we need to get gas quick. I freaking missed it. So we're seeing a Zealot Sentry opening. We got this thing, a Mothership Core. I made a video about that, and some people are still watching it. That's giving me some YouTube hits, and I like that. So we're actually seeing a transition to 3 gas right now. So it looks like he's doing a, mostly a kind of a Sentry opening, Zealot Sentry opening, kind of an old school style. I remember doing this kind of opening on Metalopolis back in the day. Hit the like button if guys, don't hit the like button. I mean, if you want to hit the like button, that's fine, but I'm not going to fish for it. But I was going to say, hit the like button if you played on Metalopolis, but there's probably going to be like 6 unlikes. It'll be like, that map was bad and you should feel bad. So literally there's not much going on. We see just one gas, and our Zerg buddy, he's kind of Overlord blocked, but that's perfectly okay. It looks like we're seeing a Gateway Forge trying to transition, so it looks like a lot of upgrades, maybe some cannons to make sure he doesn't die immediately right off the bat. That's perfectly okay, the most normal thing in the world. We see the 3 right there. KernieKatz is making sure no one takes that 3. That's his 3. This watchtower actually was abandoned. I don't know where this drone is or this probe is anymore. It looks like that it might have got chased off, and these Lings are able to get an getting a good scout as to what's happening. We see that the gas has been taken by 2 sentries and nothing else. So if I'm a Zerg, I'm actually probably going to power roaches and start trying to attack. Now this was done, preemptively scouting, but you know what? There's only sentries and zealots. There's actually not a lot of cans being put down, but actually there's not any cans being put down. What kind of information does ZookaMan have? Not much, right? About a 7-minute or 8-minute timing is really good because you can either see if there's a lair coming or if additional gas has been taken. So, right now, he's going up to 3 gases, but if I was a Protoss right now and he's only got 1 gas, I'm feeling pretty good. Just got to make sure that my SimCity is pretty good. Put a couple cannons down. And with sentries and the photon overcharge, I can actually take care of it. You know what? I actually had to look at it. I was like, the overcharge, the photon thing. Looks like ZookaMan's actually scouting with a Phoenix, so he's actually going to get some pretty good timings as KernieKatz takes his 3rd base by just before the 8-minute mark. So if I'm KernieKatz, what I would do is I was expanding. I would just max out and go and attack. And that looks like what he's about to be doing. So he's actually gotten 8 roaches. And, I mean, he's got the... He actually doesn't have a lot of larvae, so he might have been missing some injects here and there, but that's perfectly okay. Most awesome thing in the world. And while I've been casting that, we actually see a robo being placed down. We see an observer actually being chrono boosted out. Which, I think, this is good. Like, if, he was able to get the scout. He know that, there wasn't a whole... He was about to go up to a different amount of gas, so this was probably his original plan all along, but he actually transitioned to Twilight Council, so... the Robo being this early, is either going to support like a Blink Stalker play or something else like that. So kind of, maybe based on what you're scouting, maybe respond to it. But he's going to have a response pretty quick. Look how awesome those roaches look. Like, seriously, like, I didn't realize that they had that tail at the end that's just kind of dragging along all over the place. And they're dragging along all over the place going up to our Protoss players' base. Actually focusing fire the Forge. That's not a good thing, actually pushing back to make sure they don't get force fielded. But really, I mean, what are they going to do? Get tickled to death? We see a photon overcharge actually being taken down. If he plays it smart, he can actually save that roach. And you know what? Shutting down that forge actually, delays kind of any kind of upgrades that are happening. So we see a bunch of lings actually flooding along the way, and ZookaMan decides that the way he's going to recuperate is to be able to just put up another gateway. We see a force field actually happening just to make sure that he chases him out. And you know what? He's got like 6 sentries, so he's going to be doing okay. Roaches come on up. Looks like we've got a little bit more time on the photon overcharge. He actually focus fires the gateway and actually shuts it down. So actually takes that back up. We see a flood of links actually coming. We see in the research tab, we see a forge being built elsewhere and Blink actually on the way. So it looks like he's going to go to a Blink Stalker kind of transition, which is kind of weird because he doesn't have a lot of Stalkers, right? Like, I mean, you get up to 12 or 16 Stalkers, Blink is freaking fantastic. But, with the support cycle he's actually gotten, he's only going to be able to get up to maybe 6, maybe 9 Stalkers by the time that Blink is done. So, if he really plays his cards right. So, going to the army size tab, active forces, there's actually a significant amount of, roaches and lings on the field. And ZookaMan, he's got tech, he's got SimCity, so that's going to keep him honest. So actually, let's see what the actual worker supply is. So KernieKatz is up by about 25 supply, which is good for him. We actually see Burrow and Glio reconstitution actually going on. I don't think he saw the Immortal over here, so that's going to help quite a bit. And since there's an observer on the map, he'll be able to kind of make sure that there aren't any kind of shenanigans going on. I think a cannon or 2 would be fantastic. And props to ZookaMan. Like, I mean, his money's getting a little high right here, but he's putting his upgrades in. He's actually got +1 done by the time I've actually really been ramping it up. KernieKatz is kind of, his macro's been kind of slipping a little bit. Look, he's up to like 2k minerals, 400 gas. He needs to be getting on his injects to make sure that he doesn't miss anything. And look at the units. He's got 14 larvae, so he needs to really start punishing that. As that punishing's happening, we actually see the roaches actually pushing up. We see a Guardian Shield going down, and actually it's going to repel this force. Guardian Shield. I had to check it. I was like, I think that's a Guardian Shield, right? Isn't that awful? I'm the worst caster ever. And while Zuka's actually been deflecting this attack, he actually is taking a 3rd. Does KernieKatz actually know about it? This Ling surrounds actually, doing a pretty significant amount of tickling that's happening. It looks like this Immortal looks like it may be taken down, and so far it is. The other Immortal doing pretty good damage. The Lings are trying to get in. The hardened shields are actually being worked out, so these roaches can actually do okay damage. They try to burrow to actually get something done, but ZookaMan, well prepared, has that observer taken care of. But like we said, you know, that blink was researched, and it's not being used at all, so we actually see both things actually going on. Checking vision from our boy KernieKatz. He has no idea this third is here. This is kind of dangerous because, I mean, like, you know, it's really easy for the Zerg to just reinforce up here and apply a lot of pressure. You know, expanding, I think, like, it's really weird taking a third on this map for a Protoss player. You know, this one's kind of a little bit safer. You know, it's a little bit, you know, I can almost get the, you know, ramp almost close to the expansion. This one, I guess pick your poison. I would have been more comfortable expanding here, but that's just me complaining. Now, while I'm complaining, we actually have a Spire on the way. We see Tunneling Claws and Pneumatized Carapace going on, and we see a Colossus transition and a very quick +3. So ZookaMan doing a really good job of ironing out to make sure that he has his upgrades going and making sure that his army, no matter how small it is able to actually take on quite a bit. So even KernieKatz is still quite a bit up in the army supply. He doesn't have a lot of tech. Like, he doesn't have any upgrades. I mean, he's got a lot of technology, like, you know, Burrow's actually on the way. We see Tunneling Claws. But, you know, there's not a lot of upgrades that are making his units even more powerful. And he still has a lot of money to be able to kind of throw some money out the way. We see some roaches, we see Zerg melee attacks actually happening, which, you know, again, you know, melee attacks is kind of weird, you know, unless he's going, like, I mean, he's going a Roach Hydra kind of build. It's kind of a, you know, old school kind of style. So the melee attacks may be a mistake, and it looks like it is. So he canceled it when missile attacks 1 and Carapace 1. So props to our boy KernieKatz for identifying that. We see the Spire that's done. He's trying to do the you know, old school kind of hide it from here to make sure, like, there's not a Spire here, I promise. And we have a Spire that's done, and I mean, there's nothing coming from it, which is really, really interesting. We see +3 about halfway done. We see another Colossus on the way. And we see some gateways actually being thrown down and actually starting to be supported by some cannons. So if we go to the unit counting station, we have 51 probes to 49 drones. The 16-minute mark looks like we might have missed some probes and drones from both players. And in a terrible error, KernieKatz actually has some drones that are just chilling down here without any kind of problem. So, you know, this base is not even mined out. Looks like there might have been an error in transferring, but you know what? That's absolutely okay. I really like that KernieKatz has got a good amount of vision on the map. Really, the only thing he'd kind of be missing is this kind of attack path. And then surprise! But unfortunately, that's not actually happening. But all the other bases have actually had some sort of type of vision on them, or a lot of them do. So the Protoss Death Ball actually coming up with the way. We see a Templar Archives being completed, and we see some cannons actually being thrown down. And ZookaMan actually has that observer. I thought that observer was there, so he's just chilling there. He kind of knows if anything's coming, but, you know, we actually see 6 Mutalisks that are on the way. So it looks like that, you know, the Mutalisk is great against this type of thing. You know, there's only 8 Stalkers here, and if you get a Mutaflock of like 12 to 16 Mutas, you know, those Mutas will still be able to kind of get away and be able to do all right against those Stalkers. So, so we see Psionic Storm actually happening. Let's see if we get some good storms here. You know, we see the Zerg army kind of chilling. I think he doesn't know that this base is here until about right now. So he's like flying over here and he's going, "Oh no, there's a base over here. What are we doing?" Oh no! If he's not careful, he's gonna lose that Muta. He almost lost 2 Mutas. So ZookaMan actually responding by moving his forces back. We see some additional Stalkers being played in, and these Mutalisks are just chilling over here. Well, did we lose a Muta? No, but we lost an Overlord. Look at them physics, man! Isn't that awesome? Like, it like rotated, like fell off of it. I'm sorry, I'm easily impressed. Like, I had to disable a lot of that stuff on my old computer to have playable frame rates to be able to stream, but not anymore. I hope you guys are nearly as excited as I am. Psionic Storm is about to get done. Hopefully we'll see some 6 storms. We see Gravitic Boosters, because why not? Can increase those speed of them Observer so we can see the stuff that's going on. And Ground Armor is actually starting. So KernieKatz actually trying to focus fire the Robotics Bay and not being able to do a whole lot. If you have a small amount of Mutalisks, what you're trying to do is just trying to pull the army away. And that's exactly what it's doing. So we see... So we see some Roaches and Hydras actually sieging the gateway line that's over here, but to an error, only about half the army is really attacking. but it looks like that KernieKatz is going to be able to get away without too much issue, actually repositioning the army. We see the Mutalisks are actually over here. They're about to come in from the back, which is actually not terrible, but they're actually attacking the wrong things. They should actually be, either focus firing some probes and things like that, but ZookaMan needing to reposition, warp in some units. We see 8 Corruptors actually coming along the way, and we see these Mutalisks actually doing some damage on the photon cannons, but, they're not really microed super well. They're actually going to get it taken down. And, after all is said and done, we see that only 1 worker was killed from KernieKatz, and ZookaMan actually was able to take out a lot of different units right there. So the units lost tab. Our boy ZookaMan's definitely in the lead slightly, a lot more units lost. But the beautiful thing is that KernieKatz should be able to get them back up. So looking at the transition, we see more gateways being thrown down. Go big or go home. This is the Steven style. Let's throw down 10 gateways and go all in. We see the 4th base. It's actually pretty much online, but not being completely mined from yet. We see some photon cannons doing some siege on some Zerglings that are running by, and a Dark Templar or a Dark Shrine is actually in transition. So props to ZookaMan. What's definitely going to keep him in this game is the upgrades. They're just going to trade blow for a lot more. We see 3 damage, 1 armor. We see 2/2 on the Zerg, which is pretty adequate, but no upgrades to our flyers. And it looks like that they're actually going to put more siege on this top base, which actually would hurt pretty good. It's still got a healthy amount of minerals that are here. And we see Protoss's army needing to rotate. Where's that mothership core, man? That mothership core is going to need to... That's right here. We need to be able to have it with the army so it can recall or be able to reinforce up here. We see a Blink 4 from the Stalkers. We see Zealots actually charging in. And we see actually a pretty decent fight right here. The Corruptors actually focusing fire in the Colossus right here. Actually not really focus firing, just attack moving, but these Colossus are just about to go down. There's 1 remaining, but all the Zerg ground army has been eliminated. 30 Lings are actually on the way. So there's actually a ground army that's still here for our boy ZookaMan, but there's not a whole lot going on for KernieKatz. KernieKatz are just missing the injects, and missing the... I mean, it seems like he's missing the econ a little bit, but... it's really kind of hard to say that because, he's been missing injects a little bit. He's been, he actually doesn't even have a queen chilling over here, and these guys are kind of misrally. It looks like he just vomited some larvae on that particular hatchery. So ZookaMan doing quite a few of the right things. That's my cellular phone. Do you guys know you have that in the future? So we actually see some Dark Templar actually poking the Queen. Oh no! We don't see any kind of defense down over here for KernieKatz. It looks like that this Dark Templar is going to go to town. And there's actually 1 Overseer that's actually on the way, and we see the KernieKatz desperation. Transition to Swarm Host, guys! We need to get Swarm Hosts! Otherwise bad things are going to happen. I actually hear more Dark Templars going to town on people. 17 kills. Looks like we're going to get 18 kills, and that's like, hey guys, hey guys, there's a Dark Templar here. Hey guys, this really hurts. So we see Dark Templars actually going to town. A lot of detection anymore. ZookaMan actually having a Warp Prism. Looks like he's trying to do some shenanigans over here. Where's the bulk of his army? Actually, there's not a lot here, which is kind of weird. Protoss is actually winning just by slightly, but the thing is that ZookaMan's not able to properly respond to the Dark Templars that are all over the place. I mean, literally, look at this, like freaking 13 Swarm Hosts. Like, that's how you have a bad day. He's like poking Swarm Hosts. He's like, this one's gotta die. Oh my god, that's so graphic. That's so... Come on, kill one. Come on, one more. Why are you spreading the damage, bro? Like, focus fire that stuff. Alright, so we actually see a 5th base coming up from ZookaMan. He's just expanding all over the place. He's like, I don't even care. We see KernieKatz actually trying to take a 4th base at the 25-minute mark. Gotta work on that macro, KernieKatz. You definitely got the right unit structure in a lot of other different places, but work on that macro, man. You'll definitely get this stuff down in no time. So what kind of transition do we see? We see more Colossus. We see more Gateway kind of army. We see about a dozen, about maybe 2 dozen Lings running in to kind of see what kind of stuff that's going to happen. Trying to spread the damage around. We see some Zealots actually being worked in. And we actually have 2-0. They're trying to do the run by, but these Protoss units are just so strong. They're so strong. They're so good. So that's definitely the opportunity for our boy KernieKatz here. And I think once ZookaMan gets maxed and he's effectively there, he's just going to lock this stuff down and just, break it off in our boy KernieKatz, unfortunately. We see some Lings trying to run by, do some hold positions. So good micro, right? Good micro. But what came down here was just, making sure that, the macros go. We see 12 roaches on the way. If we go to the unit counting station, there's only 6 larvae left. So, And I mean, even though this hatchery is actually being sieged right now, I mean, you go to the unit counting station, you only got 2 queens, bro. You need a lot more queens, but some of those queens might have died in some of the attacks and things like that. So KernieKatz is just trying to get some roaches. Locusts do 14 damage? Man, locusts need to be nerfed, man. It's so OP. Me, I'd be like, guys, I got this game. Oh my god, he built 4 swarm hosts. I am so dead. I should quit this game while I'm ahead. So ZookaMan actually pushing up a 3-3. When you're max, it's okay to bank a lot of money. And we look at the structures, dude. He's got 2 robos. He's got 2 gateways and 17 warp gates. So he's doing absolutely fine. I was like, what the heck is this? And these swarm hosts just die so fast. I mean, there's quite a few locusts here, but all the beefy units don't happen. KernieKatz with the GG. And he leaves the game, the mana up. So, guys, this is a project, Starcraft casting, brought you a terrible PVZ from my casting standpoint. Props to ZookaMan. He's actually doing a tournament this month. You should check it out on the Reddit Cast It subreddit. So, guys, thank you guys for watching. And until next time! Well, that's awkward.